everybody, how y'all doing this wonderful, great Monday morning? I'm coming at you with another price built list. What I'm gonna start doing is one, I'm gonna go ahead and give you these PC built lists once every 3 to 4 months, and two, what I normally been doing is I've been plugging in the parts, the components using PC part picker, and I've been normally picking the websites to go to to buy them. But what I'm going to do is I'm gonna be using PC part picker to go head on and pick the parts, and I want my consumers, my viewers, to build their PCs. And you could go ahead and show your build to me, and you could go ahead and post pictures on my Twitter account. I would love to see them. I would love to go ahead on and look at them I'm not gonna comment on them, but I would love to see them and see how the new PC builders put this priceless build list together, and how they're enjoying it. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get started right into it. We're gonna go head on and get right into the PC part picker. Alright, we're gonna start off with the motherboard. That's what I like starting off first, is the motherboard. First is, we're gonna go ahead and scroll down. So I'm doing the LGA 1200 built. So, and I'm gonna go ahead and go micro ATX. So let's get on to it. I'm sorting through prices because I like to go, I'm budget friendly, so I like to go ahead on and keep everything into a nice respectable budget. I'm not saying you gotta go ahead and, if you want to go ahead and build a crazy build list, spend about $2,500 to $4,000 on parts, then go ahead on, knock yourself out. But for your nice consumer, budget friendly PC builders, I could go ahead on and take a regular basic gaming PC and go ahead and enjoy it. And if you want to add a GPU card to your liking, you go ahead and add that on down the line later. But I love to go ahead on and start off with the basics, because that's where we all start off from anyway, is the basics. Now, if you're an extreme builder and you're an extreme gamer and you know how to build and you know what parts you're looking for, then I'll leave that to the extremers, and y'all go ahead on and do what you got to do. But this is for my little basic beginners and basic gamers. So you could go ahead on and game off the onboard graphics. I'm using the APU CPU, so y'all could go ahead on and do your thing with it. Now we're gonna go ahead on the motherboard. I'm gonna choose is a Gigabyte motherboard, and I'm gonna go ahead on and choose I already have my price list already put together, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put it on up. Is the B450M DS3H. Great motherboard. I have 4 slots. Max memory is 128 gigabyte RAM. Now, if you want to go ahead on, if you're an extreme gamer, or you just could go ahead and use this for whatever you want to use it. If you're a photographer, if you're a film that you do small short videos, then I suggest that you upgrade it to the highest max. But if you want something simple and easy, you can go ahead on and start off with 2 dual kits, 16 gigabytes, that's 2 8 gigabyte sticks, and later on down the line you can add 2 more to it, or you just go ahead on and buy a quad kit and just go ahead and go all out with all 32 gigabytes. Alrighty, and this motherboard is $79.98. Alrighty, now we're gonna go ahead and pick the CPU, which is the Intel Core i5-10400. That's a good processor to use. It's a 6-core, 12-thread processor. Core clock is at 3.1 gigahertz. Boost is at 4.5 gigahertz. 65 watt TDP, and it has graphics and controllable graphics. It's the HD 630. As I said, so I'm picking this APU because you will be using onboard graphics, and the cost of this is $177.89. Alrighty, the CPU cooler is a low profile cooler. I love them. Save space. keeps your airflow going perfectly. And notices the TDP of the APU is 65 watts. So we're going to go to a nice TDP of 100 or better. I love ID Cooling because their CPU coolers are great, are good to use, and they're great. So you can't have no issues with it. Alrighty, I'm going with the ID Cooler IS 47K. $42.99. Now the memory is going to be non-ECC. So I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down, pick non-ECC. I'm going to pick. We're going 16 gigabytes. That's the dual kit of two 8 gigabyte sticks. I'm gonna go ahead and pick this speed of 2666. Bring that on down, and we are going to go non-ECC because the motherboard uses non-ECC RAM. Now I'm gonna go back up. I'm gonna go ahead and scroll. Good memory. Here's the silicone power, two 8 gigabyte sticks. Nanoseconds is 14.254. Cache latencies is 19. So we're going to use them. It's 64.97. Can't go wrong with it. Now we're going storage. I love Team Group. They're the best. You can use Team Group, Samsung, Western Digital, and Seagates. Those are the only 4 storage I use. So if you have any other type storage you like to use in mind, you can go ahead and do so. And just go ahead and pick what you are comfortable with. So this board holds an M.2, so we're going to go ahead and pick an M.2. 2280. And I'm going NVMe. And we're going to go ahead and pick our storage space. We're going to do 2.5. It's going to be on 1 terabyte, so we're going to go ahead and do 2 500s. One is going to be the M.2 2280, and the other is going to be an SSD. Now keep in mind, when you put an M.2 on your motherboard, SATA 1 port is disabled, so you got to use SATA 2 on out. Alrighty, so the prices, pick my manufacturer, which is Team Group. You know what? We're going to go Samsung today. I'm in the Samsung mood. Alrighty, Samsung 97 Evo is at $64.98. That's a 500 gigabyte, and we're gonna go do the same thing for the SSD. Alrighty. Go back up, sort through price. The reason I always sort through price because I always want you to go ahead on and get the best price available. If you're on the budget, go ahead and get that. I am going to add the Samsung Evo 860. It's $56.99. It's 500 gigabyte. Like I said, you're on 1 terabyte. You're on a 500 gigabyte. Sorry about that. 500 gigabyte M.2. You're gonna be on the 500 gigabyte SSD. Alrighty. Now, just like I said, I'm not adding no GPU cards because they are a little pricey right now. When the GPU card come back on market of your liking, of your choice, you can go ahead and get that later on down the line. But meanwhile, you're going to be using our onboard graphics, which is the HD 630 from Intel. Can't go wrong with it. It's not an issue. So we're going to the case. It's a micro ATX case. I usually go ahead and choose mid tower ATX cases because I like the room. It's easy to use. You can't go wrong with it. And since the motherboard supports onboard LED, so we're gonna go ahead and get all fans that are LED compatible, so you ain't got to worry about nothing with that. I like to go ahead on the team with the Rosewell D100. Because the reason why I'm choosing the D100 is because it comes with 4 LED fans, LED adjustable RGB fans, because the motherboard supports on onboard LED controller, so you ain't gotta go wrong with that. Let's go ahead and find the D100. As you see, it has three fans up front, one adjustable RGB fan in the back. It has a controller which is connected to it on the side. I use the C100. It comes with just regular 4 LED blue fans. Now, it comes with this case holds 6 hard drives. It holds 4 SSDs and 2 3.5s. They are located in the back, so you cannot go wrong with that. Price of this is $74.98. And last but not least, we're gonna go ahead on and add the power supply. And I like to go ahead on and use main 3 power supplies. I love using, and I keep it to a basic. I love using Raid Max. They're great. I have no issues with them. I own 2, so I have no issues with them. I also use RS Game. Their power supplies are great. I love EVGA. Their power supplies are phenomenal. I watch a lot of my creators. I'm subscribed to them, and they use them a lot in all their builds that you see them do on their YouTube channel. So you can't really go wrong with that. So I'm going with EVGA. You can't go wrong with it. Now, I usually keep it in the 600 watt range, but just in case, if you go ahead and get the RTX 2070 or the RTX 3080, or you go ahead and get a GTX 1660 Super, I'm gonna go ahead and keep everything at a good budget rate max. So we're gonna go ahead and do 750 watts, just in case you decide to get a power supply, a GPU card that is in the power supply range. I like to keep everything like that, because if I got a 600 watt power supply in this build, and you say, Vincent, you go ahead and get the RTX 3080, and you know the recommended power is 700, so now you gotta swap out your power supply just to meet the demands of the GPU card. So we're gonna go ahead and do a power PSU of 750 watts. Let's go ahead and base that down to 750. As you know, this you can't go wrong using this web page PC part picker. I'm gonna go ahead and put the web page description. I'm gonna go ahead and put the web page address in my description below, so y'all can go ahead and use this here. You cannot go wrong with this here, because this here is good. Now, go ahead and sort. Now, I like to use non-modular, but you go whatever works for you. You could go ahead on and use it. It's not an issue. I use 80 plus bronze, 80 plus gold. Whatever you want to use, that's up to you. But we're gonna go with the 80 plus bronze. I'm going using a semi. You know what? Yeah, we go ahead and we use a semi here, because you could go ahead and add your GPUs PCIe connectors up to it, so you can go ahead and do that. So just $89.99. Alrighty, we are done here. As you see, when you put your parts together, you're gonna get a green. You're gonna get this bar here green. If it's in green, that means all your parts are compatible. You ain't got no issues. Your estimate total wattage is 166 wattage for all the parts. So we got a 700 watt power supply here, so we good to go. And we can't really go bad with it. Let me correct that. We have a 750 watt power supply, so we add a beefy GPU into it that requires you to use 450 watts to 750 watts a power. You set to go. You ain't got to change out anything. And over here, you get all. This is where you look. Tells you where you can go ahead and get your parts from. A drummer. I never heard of this company here. It might be a third party company, but you could go ahead and probably get your Samsung 860 Evo probably from Amazon or Newegg. So basically, majority of the parts are coming from Amazon, and the majority of the parts are coming from Newegg. And I got this at one coming from a third party website. I'm gonna go ahead and look more into a drama because I never heard of them, but once I go ahead and do my review on them and everything like that, I'll go ahead and let y'all know if this company good to use or not. Alrighty, as you see, green bar, no issues, and the whole total of this build here is $652.77. So you roughly into the $600 range. If you have about $655 in your pocket, go ahead on and buy this. Now keep in mind. Now I know a lot of people go ahead and get their product keys off the from like CD keys, etc., etc. So I'm very free to go ahead and pay on the low to get your product key. And if you want to use Windows 10, you can go ahead on and have an additional laptop and a flash drive about 16 gigabytes. They'll require between 8 to 16 gigabytes. I prefer 16 gigabytes because you ain't got to worry about no issues. And you can go ahead on and download the operating system from Microsoft Office, Microsoft.com. I'll be putting that in my description below as well too. You can go ahead and download Windows 10. And you can go ahead on and, yes, you can download Windows 10 for free. And the only thing you need to do is pay for your product key, because once you're connected to an internet, it's going to go ahead and say activate the product kit, activate the software, the operating system. So the total part of this sale is $652.77. To my newcomers, my new builders, go ahead on and purchase this for yourself. Once you go ahead on and build it, you can go ahead and put it on my put the pictures on my Twitter account, which I'm gonna go ahead and have it listed below in my description key. And y'all take it easy. Go ahead on and click like. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and y'all enjoy y'all day. Peace.